Brian Henry does as well, the Pawleys Island, South Carolina mayor. Pawleys Island, of course, one of those areas directly targeted by this storm, as was Georgetown, South Carolina. In fact, passageways to Pawleys Island were destroyed by the storm. Maybe he can update us where things are now. Mayor, good to have you. How are things today?
Good morning, Neal. First of all, my heart goes out to the people of Southwest Florida, and I heard the mayor speak, and I share his sentiments about, an oncoming storm and people heeding the warnings. And we definitely took a direct hit here. We're just north of Georgetown, where Hurricane Ian made landfall. And even though the hurricane did not hit at high tide, it was close enough to high tide, which was an astronomical high tide for this area, that it pushed a wall of water into this area that exceeded a 7-foot storm surge. But just a quick update on what you said about the causeways. There are 2 causeways that allow access to the island. Those causeways are now cleared, although the island itself has not been declared really safe to come onto the island just yet. However, South Carolina DOT has been here, got here early in the morning. We've got beautiful weather, high of 70 degrees, low humidity, and they're doing a tremendous amount of work to get the roadways cleared. There's a tremendous amount of debris that they have to clear, and they're doing an exceptional job. So we're just thankful for the resources that we're getting. But we did take quite a blow yesterday, Neal, as I mentioned to you.
You did, in the middle of the storm. One thing there I was wondering, and we've seen some aerial and drone shots of the island. I mean, it looked like it was pretty badly damaged, but not entirely wiped out, as we saw with the case of Sanibel Island in Florida. But maybe you can update us on that.
Sure. So the damage that we saw in Southwest Florida and Sanibel and Captiva and Fort Myers was certainly catastrophic. We did not experience that. We had moderate erosion. We recently did a beach renourishment about 2 years ago, which was fortunate, because if we had not done that, the damage here on this island would have been significant. But the damage itself, structurally, I would say 99% of the houses are structurally sound. We lost, obviously, our pier that everyone loved. And on the back side of the island, many docks and walkways were washed into the marsh on the back side of the island. The roadways have a lot of sand that washed where the dunes breached from the waves and the wind. But we consider ourselves fortunate, even though we were ground zero for this Category 1 hurricane. We're just thankful for the resources. The governor of South Carolina has reached out multiple times to make sure we're getting the resources that we need. South Carolina Department of Transportation has been more than gracious. We've got heavy equipment all over the place getting the roadways cleared. So our situation is better than Southwest Florida. We did take a major hit, but everyone is putting their arms and hands together to get things better.
They always do, and you're leading that effort, and to be appreciated, Mayor. When I was talking to you yesterday, soon afterwards, I talked to an engineer who had talked about rebuilding and how you go about it, and whether in your area, as was the case in New Jersey, for example, after the Sandy nor'easter, a decade ago, that it was incumbent upon folks to rebuild there, but put the homes on higher pilings, just higher period, and even to arteries to these islands, maybe like the one by you here, that they have to be built higher. Do you agree with that? Is that being considered? What are the plans? I know it's early.
Yeah, it's a very good point. The causeways to access Pawleys Island are at a certain level. They could be made higher, but the roadways on Pawleys Island itself are even at a lower elevation than those causeways themselves. And that's a challenge that we have, that we're trying to work through. It costs a lot of money. There's a lot of priorities, but we as a town, we know that's an issue, and it's always more evident and reveals itself when we have storm surge like we had yesterday. So yeah, I agree with you. I will say that we do have, FEMA does require homes to be built to at least 14-foot level on the island. Obviously, we've got older homes that are grandfathered in that experience more issues and problems when we have storm surge of this nature.
Well, you have a lot to contend with, Mayor. I'm glad you're well and your folks are well. A lot of things can be repaired. Lives destroyed cannot. So best of luck to you, and thank you.